going on, Jerome's? Minnesota Vikings traded down in the first round in 2022 and eventually selected Georgia safety Lewis Cine at number 32 overall, the MVP from the national title game. Lewis Cine can certainly bring the hammer and was a force on the back end of the Georgia defense. But fortunately, it was a sort of up and down training camp for Lewis Cine, a little bit injured, didn't crack the starting lineup, and then ultimately had that unfortunate incident, the fractured leg in London week 4 against New Orleans Saints. And a lot of Vikings fans this offseason, because we live in a microwave society, we want it now, versus it should be more about crock pots. We're ready to write off Lewis Cine as a bust. It's like, oh, he couldn't beat out Cameron Beasley, even though they're two stylistically different safeties. It was like, oh, but no, I believe, man. And Lewis Cine has been putting in that work, rehabbing, getting back onto the field, working with the twos, bringing him along slowly. They're super fired up about him. And Lewis Cine, he made a splash play, absolutely made a splash play at the first open practice for the Vikings on Saturday, jumping a route and coming down with the interceptions. Roll with that beautiful bean footage. So Lewis Cine, Andrew Booth on the outside. Booth running with the ones, by the way, in 11 out of 11s and 7 and 7. Just driving, picking off Nick Mullins. That quick pass, that quick hitch coming from Jalen Reagor, just like snatching that chain. Snatching that chain like Debo. Man, my mama gave me that chain. Love it, man. Love it. This video, of course, is from our guy, Vikes Insider. Fantastic work. Go give him a follow. And also, just like, you love to see this, where it's like you could say, well, it's practice. It's a contrived situational environment. Now, Lewis Cine broke from deep. He drove on the football, and he made a snap decision. So there wasn't any second guessing. He absolutely went out there and just jumped the route, and it's awesome, man. I just love stuff like this. And, the Vikings secondary, it's a bit of a good problem to have, because you could find a world where Lewis Cine does not necessarily start for the Vikings defense. So Harrison Smith is going to be in there because it's Harrison Smith. And also you got Josh Metellus as the roving third safety, playing linebacker, slot, whatever. Cam Beasley still in there at free safety. So it could be a spot where Lewis Cine could have himself a phenomenal preseason, have himself a great training camp, and still be not a starter on paper. But I don't think that that's necessarily a loss, because he'll thrive on special teams. He'll do phenomenal work once he's inserted in the lineup, once he gets some run. And ultimately, I think this is going to be the final year for Harrison Smith. And frankly, if Lewis Cine had been healthy last year and showed promise as a rookie instead of going down with injury, I think that Harrison Smith would have been cut or traded this offseason, because Lewis Cine was drafted to be the replacement for Harrison. And we've been over this 17,000 times. He's a different safety than Beasley. He's a different safety than Metellus. I think that he and his skill set overlap the most with Harrison. So I think that's what it's going to be. But I'm loving it, man. I love me some Lewis Cine. Loved him at Georgia. And I know Vikings fans cry. It's like, oh, well, we could have had the Ravens safety Carl Hamilton, all that stuff at 12. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, man. Love the one you're with, and Lewis Cine doing the work and absolutely getting after with the interception. It's fantastic. But your thoughts are thoughts. Lewis Cine coming down with an insane diving interception at Vikings practice on Saturday. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skull Production Value.